All right. Welcome back here, knife nerds and everyday care people. We've got ourselves a little bit of a showdown, a comparison happening here. Picked myself up a Delica here. She's the Hap 40 Wharncliffe Delica, and this is kind of a series. Now, I had planned on getting a ZDP 189 knife with the British Racing Green. Because I want to kind of have all three, and I am a Spyderco collector, and these are a set of really good working knives, and this happened to come up pre-owned, and it was a sprint run, a Hap 40 sprint run in the burnt orange, and I thought, what the hell, I really like that Wharncliffe blade, and let's give it a go. And oh my goodness, so far I am not disappointed whatsoever. I gotta say, this Delica is an absolutely great knife. Now, one of the first videos I ever watched was about knives, was Nick Shabazz, and one of the things every time he brings a knife out, one of the ones he compares it to, or size-wise, is the Delica. And he talks about the Delica being a gem, and you know what? He's absolutely right. It's a superb knife all the way around, and in the Hap 40 makes it even better. Now, would I rather have a ZDP 189? I think maybe, just for the fact that I'd like to have all three the same. That's more or less, I think, the reason why. Now, the Hap 40 in its own right is a great, fantastic steel. It's kind of a Japanese version of Rex 45. Now, let's just say here, watching the Cedric Data, Pete down in Australia doing all these knife tests. Now, I don't remember the actual number whatsoever, but it's something like when this ZDP 189 is a mirror polished KME edge, he's something like high threes, I think, on his twisted sisal rope. He's somewhere around 380, I think, something like that. Whereas the Hap 40 Rex 45 is going to be the high twos, low threes. That's kind of seems to be the way it is. Now, the ZDP 189 can get even better if it's the Rockwell is way up there. Now, I do believe that Spyderco has its Rockwell on this ZDP 189 at, like, the 62, 63, 64, somewhere around there, where some of the other companies have got it like, 67, 66. And I think there's a little bit of those 4 points on the Rockwell does that extra bit to the edge retention. But with this particular Wharncliffe here, it's got the Hap 40. It's actually got an SUS 410, I do believe, the stainless steel. So it is a laminate steel. So you got the center core, which is the really, really hard wear resistant stuff. And it's not particularly stainless, surrounded by a stainless steel, and does a fantastic job. Now, of course, here we've got the little Dragonfly. Now, the one thing I was really, really surprised at is the Dragonfly seems like such a small knife to me. And it is a small knife, but it does have that 50-50 choil. So it allows you to have pretty darn close to a 4-fingered grip. I mean, it's kind of more 3.5 with my size of hands. I do wish that the Delica had that little bit of extra too as well. Even though I can get the 4-fingered grip on there, and I've got fairly big hands. I must say I got XL hands. Big hands, you know what that means? Big gloves. And I've got fairly big hands, so I was really, really surprised at the blade length between these two steels, or these two knives. Now this here is 2.25, is 2 1/4, and this one here is 2.9 inches, which is just a smidge under 3. So they're both under 3 inches. As you can see here, it looks like it's not that much difference between the two, but this is an overall quite a bit smaller package here by I'd say close to 2 inches, in the total length too as well. And 2 inches, it's the difference between ooh and ah. And then of course you got the big huge Endura. So let's kind of go over some of the stats on here. We've got an overall length of 5.5 inches here. We've got a 7.15 inches here. And then of course we've got almost 9 inches, which is 8.78 inches. Now the blade length is 2 1/4 here, 2.9 inches, just a smidge under 3. And then we got here is 3.8, which is just a smidge under 4. fantastic knives. And then if you've got ZDP 189, ZDP 189, and then HAP 40. Totally fully flat ground on all of them. Now these two are identical here at 2.5 millimeters in width, and then of course you've got the ZDP 189 in the Endura 4, which is a little bit thicker, which I do believe is around 3.4 millimeters. So now what that tells me is that with the full flat grind, these are great cardboard slicers. I love this knife. I love all three of these knives for one of the things I do the most, and that's break down cardboard boxes. You know, especially with my job, was having so much stuff with cardboard. I was cutting like yards and yards and yards, or meters and meters and meters of cardboard, and I needed a knife to go through really well, and these three are great work knives. Although this one here will go through, you know, some cardboard. This here is more of a kind of a Saturday night or a secondary blade or something I'm going to use to open up, you know, envelopes and stuff like that. But all right, let's kind of continue on with a little bit more of the stats. Weight-wise, here we've got 1.2 ounces, we've got 2.4 ounces, then we've got 3.3 ounces. So all of them are under 4 ounces, and they are really light. Even the largest one, the Endura here, disappears inside your pocket. Now, sometimes, you know, I usually would wear, you know, dress pants or jeans, and, you know, I never really have an issue because I've got a belt, but once in a while, you know, you put on a pair of shorts or a pair of sweatpants, and sometimes you don't want a real heavy 7-ounce knife that gives you a saggy pocket, and, you know, it's pulling your sweatpants down or your shorts down, and I found that none of these knives here will do that. They're all so nice and light, they disappear. Quickly look at the other side here. Now, this is not the standard knife clip on there. I do believe it is a clip like this, a spoon clip with the shiny rather than the black. I think I just was switching some clips around, and I just grabbed a black clip to throw on there. And then, of course, everybody really likes this wire clip, and you know what, I can see why. It's a great clip, the wire clip, and I think a lot of people say it's the best one that Spyderco makes. I like the wire clip, but I also don't mind the spoon clip at all. The only thing I would say on here is sometimes with these here, the painted ones, they get a little bit worn like that, and they don't look the greatest. So normally what I've done here in the past, I've taken the finish completely off of it and give it a little bit of a polish, and then it looks nice. I'm okay with the chrome look rather than the worn black look. All right. So, now they're all made of FRN, which is fiberglass reinforced nylon. These two have got stainless steel liners that are skeletonized, and I don't think that the Dragonfly doesn't have a stainless steel liner. But then again, you know what? This is not a super hard use knife, and in this size, the FRN is really strong, really tough. I'm not too worried about this one not having a stainless steel liner in there, but these two have got stainless steel liners. The action on all of them is really quite nice. This one here is, like you can see, it's drop shut. This one here is not quite drop shut. Probably will take a little, but it's still able to flick open, all right? And a little bit of a shake and it comes down. Still got some fidget factor. And of course, you've got this one, a little bit of heavy blade, and it is a drop shot, and it does flick open. Now, with the Endura, you can Spidey flick. It's just set up so much nicer. This one here is, you can Spidey flick it too as well. And the Dragonfly, you can Spidey flick it too. Although I have to tell you, that is the first time I've ever been able to Spidey flick this little bugger. Usually I kind of screw it up. Because it is so small. There we go, look at that. I can only get it done one time. But, you know, the bi-directional FRN handle, really bulletproof stuff. But the other really nice thing about the FRN is if you're working in a Vaseline factory, it's got tremendous grip on it. You're going to be able to grab a hold of this knife, and it's not going to slip out of your hands. So you're going to be fantastic. And the other thing is, depending upon the color, the FRN really takes some RIT dye really well. Now, I know that there's a couple of different dyes out there. There's synthetic dye and there's natural dye. I didn't know that you had to get the synthetic dye for synthetic material, and I did use the natural dye on an FRN knife, and it dyed really, really well. It's great. So any type of RIT dye is going to dye, I think, your FRN, and it's going to take it really, really well. I know a lot of guys have got those H1 FRNs with the yellow. You know, they'll want to put them orange, or they'll have a combination of the two. I'm sure I could dye this here, you know, get to green as I want to, or I probably could even put this black, or, you know, or something like that. I think what I'm going to end up doing, though, is I'm going to leave it the burst orange, and I think one of my other videos about this Hat 40 knife is it's got lots of scratches on the blades, so I need to do something with it. So the choice was either to polish it up or acid wash it. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to acid wash this. So I picked up some acid, and we're going to give it a little bit of a go. Now, I didn't grab like a muriatic acid or a hydrochloric acid. I ended up grabbing kind of a weaker acid compound in a for cleaning sinks and stuff like that of a hard water scale and things like that. So I think it's gonna work. I didn't want to have such heavy duty acid around the house, especially with, you know, we're gonna be having some grandchildren come live with us. I'd rather have something that's, you know, a toilet bowl cleaner or a sink cleaner, and, you know, probably still not going to be fantastic for anybody who spills it on, but it's not going to be like an acid where if they spill it on or get it in their eyes right away, they're completely done. You know, hopefully there's a little bit of weaker acid to it. So I'm going to try that out. So I'm going to acid wash this Wharncliffe blade as well as this clip. All right. So now, based on these three here, as an everyday carry, now I originally bought this one for a work knife because I break down such the cardboard. And, you know, it's still going to be an occasional work knife. This one here I got as a secondary blade to carry with me, or kind of an out on the town night, and I don't want to carry something that's really murdery. And I just thought I would get the Delica just to round it out. And I never realized how much I would really enjoy carrying this Delica. I'm so impressed with this size of knife. You know, it's a smidge over 7 inches. The blade's right around 3 inches. And normally I'm saying that 3.5 inches is your perfect EDC type of blade. But this Wharncliffe and 2.9 inches, I am so impressed with this knife. I've broken down so much cardboard with this already. The Hat 40 it's a tremendous edge, as well as it disappears in my pocket. I hardly even notice that it's there. I don't mind the little fidget factor here, because normally I got some flippers and stuff like that with great fidget factor. You know, in the Spyderco Smock is the #1 fidget knife as far as I'm concerned. But, you know, this one here is satisfying to carry all the way around. If I had to choose between any of these knives here, and I could only choose one, I think I would choose this Delica. It is big enough to get the job done, small enough to be comfortable to carry, and also with this, especially with this Wharncliffe blade, it just seems like this Wharncliffe style blade is a little more kooky than this blade here. So even if you had these two blades the same size, I think if somebody saw a Wharncliffe blade, they'd think of it more of a tool than than something that's really stabby. Even though if you're going to be stabbed by either one of these, the Wharncliffe here is by far the more tactical blade, because when you actually do stab into something, this here pushes and cuts. So you've got pressure on the cutting surface way more than, say, something like this. When you actually cut into it, you're going to have your maximum point here, and then it's going to trail off a little bit in the back, where this is going to just basically grow and have more cutitude, I guess is what you'd call it. So, hey, but I'm by no means like a Navy SEAL or anything like that, or I'm Mr. Stabby Stabberton. It's just, I've watched a hell of a lot of videos on knives, and that kind of sticks in my head, the Wharncliffe being kind of more tactical and a more damaging wound. Not that you ever want to stab anybody with your knives. I mean, you just want to use them as tools, not as weapons. As far as I'm concerned, that's why I like them. I'm not, I'm using them as tools totally. I love the feel of them. I love that I can cut stuff. That's kind of my whole deal. So, out of the three, definitely going with the Wharncliffe here in the Delica. I'm so happy that I picked this up, and I'm actually so happy that I've rounded out this collection. So thanks so much. Appreciate you guys stopping by. Now, if you like what you saw here, you like what you heard, please give me the thumbs up, as well as a subscription. You know, I'm getting close to my 1 year anniversary, which is October 30th. So I think I'm gonna have myself a big old extravaganza on the 30th, and I'll release something there just to have a little bit of fun. Look for this one here to become stone or acid washed here right away. I will had a request to kind of see if I could shoot this video here and acid wash this. So I'm going to try to get a video here happening maybe later on today or tomorrow, because Sunday or so I do believe I got some grandkids and some other family that's coming to stay with us for a little while. I have no idea how long it's going to be, but you know what? When you have kids and grandkids and they say, "Dad, please, can we come live with you?" You gotta say yes. So my office is going to become a bedroom. Maybe not a kid's bedroom. We've got 2 spare bedrooms here in our home. We're very lucky. So we're going to have my stepdaughter and her boyfriend come in, stay with us, as well as our 2 grandchildren. So we're going to have a pretty busy household, and I'm going to be trying to find time to shoot videos. So if I'm a little bit sporadic here the next little bit, that's why. But I appreciate you guys so much for stopping by, and I'm glad that you guys are here having a look at this. So, like I said, I'm going to quickly rank these. I like that one the best, that one's the second best, and that one's the third best. So, definitely get yourself a Delica. If you don't have one, it's one to have. As Nick Shabazz would say, it's a gem. I just don't know what the hell for me to call it, though. I got to come up with something here, you know. Think about what I should call it. I mean, it's superlative. It's great. It's EDC-erific. It's you know, 2 thumbs up, 2 beaver tails up. It's awesome. I love the Delica. So, all right, guys, have yourself a wonderful day. Stay safe. Keep your stick on the ice, the shiny side up. This is the Big Canucker saying adios.